Okay, so today's question is find minimum operations to make all elements divisible by 3. So you are given an integer array nums. In one operation you can add or subtract 1 from any element of nums. Okay. Return the minimum number of operations to make all elements of nums divisible by 3. Okay. See. So the question basically, in question we have to find the minimum number of operation to make all elements of nums divisible by 3. Okay, and which operation we can make? Okay, what is the operation here? The operation is that you can add or subtract 1 from any element of nums. Okay, understood? So let's see what we can do in this question. Okay, yeah. Now see, if we see the elements of the nums here, right? Let's take an example. The first example is that nums is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now see, we have to make this array. We have to make all the elements of this array nums divisible by 3. Sorry. Now here, if you see here, see, if I see 1, right? So for 1 to be divisible by 3, what we should do? We should subtract 1 from 1 to make it 0, because 0 is like divisible by all elements. Okay, and see, we have to find the minimum number of operations, right? We can also add, right, we can also add 1 2 times in 1 to make this 1 to 3, right? To make this 1 as 3. But if we add 1 2 times in this one, then we will take two operations, but I subtract 1 from 1, I will just be making this element divisible by 3 in just one operation. Okay, and we want minimum operations. Okay, so let's solve this question by coding. Okay, by writing the code. First of all, what I will do here, I will first of all find the remainder. Okay, I will change all the elements, okay, of this array to the remainder after dividing each element by 3. Okay, for example, 1 divided by 3, remainder will be 1. 2 divided by 3, remainder will be 1. 3 divided by 3, remainder will be 0. 4 divided by 3, remainder will be 1. Okay, understood? So let's see. Okay, so I will write, first of all I will write int count equals to 0, uh, which will count, or which will store the number of operations which we are doing to make all the elements of this sum equal to 0. Okay, so for this I will basically run a loop. Okay, so for int I equals to 0, I less than nums dot size I plus. Okay, my first thing is that I will be replacing nums of I with nums of I percentage 3. Okay, modulo 3. Okay, to basically convert each of the element with the remainder after dividing each element with the number 3. Okay, okay, just a second. Now what we'll do here, now we have all the elements which are less than 3. Okay, so simply we will check if the number is greater than or equals to 1, which means if the remainder after performing this, okay, performing this operation, if the number is, let's suppose if the number is 1, okay, it means we should subtract 1. Okay, but if it is 2, then what we should do, we should add 1. Okay, understood? So I will simply write for int equals to 0, I less than nums dot size I plus plus. See, so if whether if the element is 1 or 2, we have to count 1, right? We have to count one operation. Why? Because in case if it is 1, we will subtract 1, then it take one operation, and if it is 2, then we have to add 1, and it will take one operation, okay, to make it 3. And if it is 3, if it is 0, okay, if the remainder is 0, then to we have not to do anything, okay. So if nums of I is not equals to 0, simply will count plus plus, okay, and we'll return this count, okay. So see, okay, we can do one more thing, okay, if we want, okay, we can do one more thing. The thing is, if we remove this, okay, and just in this if I write, okay, in this if I write only in, I will basically I'm doing all the things in one loop only, okay. I will write if nums of I not equal to 0, then simply count plus this, okay, just to make the code shorter, okay, than previous one, because the time complexity in both the code will be same. It will be big of n only, okay, but just to make the code shorter, that's why I'm doing this. See, so I hope you understood how to do this question. So thank you.